What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the unbelievably unflappable Dr. Disaster, and in the wake of all this drama surrounding Collective Shout and the payment processors like Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal forcing censorship on the gaming platform Steam, we have seen some tremendous pushback from the gaming crowd.
Hey, right back at you, bitch.
First of all, we have this petition here that I've mentioned before on this channel, which has absolutely blown up. This petition is urging the US government to pass legislation that will prevent these payment processors from acting like a monopoly and bullying businesses into operating using their guidelines. That petition has been around for a little over a week now, and we are already at 134,000 signatures. I imagine that when these censors see how quickly this shit is escalating, they're probably thinking,
holy shit! Holy fucking shit!
Now, if you haven't signed this yet, I will add a link in the description of this video so you can go sign it yourself. But there's another campaign that I wanted to discuss which is going on this weekend that I was just made aware of, and it is this right here. 4chan has noted that Collective Shout was able to get their censorship in place with 1,000 phone calls placed to these payment processors. So 4chan has started Operation Fight Fire with Fire in order to push back.
Aren't we changing things? I mean, right now, changing the way it goes.
Oh, hell yes.
This is a campaign where gamers are sharing the phone numbers for Visa in an attempt to get them to reverse their policies with regards to Steam. Now, to be clear, I don't expect this to work because I believe that these payment processors are the originators of this censorship and that Collective Shout is simply a convenient front, a scapegoat if you will, for them to do the sort of crap that they wanted to in the first place. However, I still always believe it's a good idea to reach out and make our voices heard in general, and more specifically than that, in this scenario when they are inundated with thousands of phone calls and they refuse to do anything to reverse course on this situation, it will absolutely out them as the bad guys in this scenario.
Oh no! They're on to me!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. I keep a list on there of games lousy with wokeness pinned to the account at all times for your reference. I've also started uploading some content onto Rumble too, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster over there. But let's talk a bit about this Operation Fight Fire with Fire idea. Now, first of all, I have to make an obligatory disclaimer. If you choose to call any of these phone numbers, which unfortunately I've had to cross out because I don't want to run afoul of the guidelines on YouTube for doxing. I know that these are phone numbers for businesses, so it isn't really doxing, but I still don't want to risk it because YouTube has been quite weird lately and it's just not worth the risk. But if you Google this Operation Fight Fire with Fire, it isn't hard to find this info at all. But anyhow, the disclaimer I wanted to make is this. If you do call any of these numbers, be polite and as non-threatening as possible. And I mean this sincerely too. If you call or if you email, don't use profanity. Don't say something like, listen to me or else. If you reach out to these people, all you need to do is say that you don't appreciate their attempts to censor portions of the internet, maybe tell them the market should be allowed to speak for itself, and that manipulating the market in this way is extremely underhanded, but that's all that needs to be said. And there are 3 primary reasons as to why it is a terrible idea to be threatening, profane, or impolite. First of all, it is customary at these businesses like this to simply disregard everything you have to say if you are rude to them. I have a friend who worked at the highest levels of customer service at one of these major corporations, and he told me that when they receive messages that are discourteous, they immediately just toss those messages in the garbage and disregard them. So it is just inefficient to communicate that way. Second of all, we don't want to give these payment processors and collective shout ammunition. They're already claiming that they've gotten threats from people, and whether that's true or not, we don't want to actually give them that weapon to use against us. And lastly, and probably most importantly, it's just not the right thing to do. You don't want bad karma, you don't want to be a bad guy. So be polite, be respectful, but be assertive. That being said, let me repeat what I said earlier. I don't think that this campaign will necessarily work in the traditional sense. I don't think that Visa will hear our voices and just suddenly have a change of heart and realize that maybe they shouldn't be worried about censoring adult material on Steam. If they were actually serious about not liking this adult material, then they would be doing the same thing to HBO Max right now in an attempt to get Game of Thrones taken off the air. They would be threatening HBO Max saying, hey, we aren't going to work as your payment processors for that site if you don't remove Game of Thrones, because that is a much more prominent and mainstream piece of culture which depicts all kinds of horrible adult-oriented material. But they aren't focused on that because HBO is one of their buddies. You know who isn't their buddy though? You and I. Chances are that we don't vote the way that they want us to in elections. As gamers, and really just geeks and nerds in general who like pop culture, we are a free-thinking bunch who don't automatically buy into the shit-lib cultural relativism that these financial institutions push because it helps my GDP go up a percentage point as they import the third world relentlessly into our society. We have, in many ways, been the tip of the spear in the effort to oppose them, and I believe quite firmly that collective shout is simply a convenient scapegoat for the behavior that Visa and these other payment processors wanted to engage in on their own. So, no, calling these guys up and giving them a piece of your mind seems quite unlikely to change their views, but if, after this weekend, they don't change, if they continue to try to censor Steam and other platforms like that, then this will help expose their real intentions. Right now, they are focused on adult-oriented material because optically that works better than simply saying, look, we want to censor anybody who disagrees with our political views. More people can stomach censoring the not suitable for work stuff. But if it were really about that, then they'd be calling for Baldur's Gate 3 to get taken down from Steam. They'd be calling for Game of Thrones to be removed from HBO Max. Ultimately, this is about control, and these people will gradually move their sights onto anything that doesn't help them push their political viewpoint. We've made great strides against video games like Dragon Age the Veilguard and Concord. We are seeing them a lot less these days, but this fight against the payment processors, this is the real fight. And if you don't want to see nothing but Concord sequels for the rest of your gaming career moving forward, then we need to lend our voices against this crap immediately. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your contempt for these censors into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.